Investigators stopped chasing the hackers. They went after the place the hackers felt safest. Not a forum, not a wallet, a VPN called First VPN. By May 2026, law enforcement across 27 countries announced they had taken down what Europol described as a VPN service allegedly built for criminals. According to investigators, it had quietly served ransomware crews, data thieves, and fraud actors who believed it gave them one thing they couldn't operate without: invisibility. And what grabs me about this case is not just that a service was seized. It's that investigators appear to have gone after the infrastructure of trust inside cybercrime itself. Think about that for a second. If you're running extortion, stolen data markets, or large-scale fraud, your real product isn't malware. It's confidence. Confidence that your traffic disappears into the dark. Confidence that one layer between you and the victim buys time. First VPN was allegedly that layer. This story starts with a simple but unsettling question. What happens when investigators stop hunting the people at the keyboard and start hunting the curtain hiding all of them? According to Europol and partner agencies, the answer in this case was brutal. The curtain became the crime scene. Curious. First VPN was not marketed like an ordinary privacy tool. Investigators say it was advertised in criminal spaces as a service designed to keep illegal users shielded from attribution. That matters. A normal VPN sells speed, streaming access, maybe privacy. This one, according to the takedown announcements, allegedly sold peace of mind to people already deep in cybercrime. And once you see that, the case changes shape. This isn't just a server seizure. It's an attack on the invisibility layer that connected very different crimes. So let me ask you this. What breaks a cybercrime empire faster? Arresting one ransomware operator? Or taking away the hidden service that hundreds of criminals trust? Tell me in the comments. When I read through the public statements on this operation, one thing stayed with me. Criminal markets don't scale because every hacker is brilliant. They scale because shared services make crime feel routine. A VPN, a bulletproof host, an escrow wallet. Remove one trusted layer, and suddenly the whole machine starts to shake. So, who was behind it? Public early-stage takedown statements focused more on the network than on a single celebrity defendant. That's important, because this case is less about one mastermind and more about a business model. Investigators allege First VPN had been supporting criminal activity for years. In some reports, authorities said the service appeared in investigations tied to ransomware, illicit marketplaces, and credential crime. Not one gang, a cross-section. That is what makes this operation feel different. The method, at least from what agencies have publicly said, was not flashy. No cinematic zero-day reveal. No dramatic insider betrayal announced on day one. It was patient mapping, cross-border intelligence, legal process, infrastructure analysis. The slow kind of work that doesn't trend on social media because it looks boring. Until thousands of users realize the safe road they've been taking may have been logged, watched, or at minimum, structurally exposed. There's a reason that matters so much in practice. Cybercriminals reuse things. They reuse handles. They reuse email patterns. They reuse payment rates. And if enough of them reuse the same network shield, that shield stops being a convenience. It becomes a choke point. That's the central thesis here. First VPN mattered because it may have turned anonymity from a personal tactic into a shared dependency. And shared dependencies are where investigators can do the most damage. Picture it in human terms. A bank robber can switch masks, but if every crew in the city rents the same hidden garage, sooner or later the garage matters more than the masks. That analogy is crude, but I think it's accurate. According to Europol's May 2026 announcement, agencies from 27 countries coordinated around the takedown. That number alone tells you something. You don't build that kind of coalition for a random boutique privacy tool. You do it when the service keeps showing up in case files across borders, sectors, and years. And there is another layer here that most headlines flatten. A VPN seizure is not only about cutting off future traffic, it can become an evidence event. Subscriber traces, payment patterns, server relationships, historical overlap with known actors. Even when public agencies stay vague, for good reason, the strategic value is obvious. Because once the shield is gone, old cases can start talking to each other. A ransomware negotiation in one country, a credential theft investigation in another, a fraud cell somewhere else. Same infrastructure, same hiding place. If that detail hits you the way it hit me, leave a like. Because this is one of those cases where the invisible part of the crime is the whole story. And this is where the human cost comes back into frame. We talk about criminal infrastructure in abstract terms, but the damage is never abstract. Somewhere behind those connections is a hospital delaying appointments, a small business owner locked out of payroll, a family discovering their stolen data is being sold and resold like scrap metal. That is why I don't buy the lazy idea that infrastructure operators are somehow far removed from the harm. In my view, if a service is knowingly built and promoted to protect extortionists and thieves, the keyboard may be farther from the victim, but the damage still runs through it. Still, the most unsettling part is not the shutdown itself. It's the possibility that for years, many users of this service felt professionally safe because everyone around them treated the same network layer as trustworthy. In ordinary life, trust helps cities work. In cybercrime, trust helps victims multiply. Have you ever noticed how organized digital crime starts to look less like chaos and more like logistics? That's what this case shows, not genius. Logistics, routing, reliability, service quality for people doing damage at industrial scale. Then comes the turn. The public sees a logo seized, a press release posted, maybe a few domains or servers splashed across the news. It feels finished. But operations like this usually begin their second life after the banners go up. Because now, investigators can ask a much sharper question. Who else trusted this network enough to build crimes around it? And this is the part I think most people miss. The takedown was not only subtraction, it was inversion. The same service that allegedly helped obscure criminal activity could now help connect cases that looked unrelated on the surface. A ransomware crew in one file, a data broker in another, a fraud ring in a third. If they all leaned on the same invisibility layer, then First VPN was no longer background infrastructure. It was a map. That's a very different kind of nightmare for anyone who used it. If you like understanding cybercrime from this angle, not just the headline, but the hidden systems underneath it, subscribe. I cover a new real case here every week. Europol said the service was used by cybercriminals to conceal attacks and other serious offenses. Public reporting around the operation described the takedown as part of a broader push against enabling services. The companies and platforms that don't always launch the attacks themselves, but make them easier, safer, and more scalable. And that should worry a lot of people in the underground economy. Why? Because a criminal ecosystem can survive the loss of a few loud personalities. It struggles when the quiet utilities start disappearing. There's also a lesson here for everyone outside cybercrime. We tend to imagine digital attacks as isolated acts by isolated people. One hacker, one victim, one breach. Real investigations keep showing the opposite. These crimes ride on service layers, supply layers, reputation layers. Remove a trusted backbone, and a lot of separate stories suddenly become one story. That, to me, is the deeper significance of First VPN. Not because it was famous, because it was useful. Useful enough, investigators say, to become embedded in major criminal activity across countries and over time. Useful enough that taking it down required international coordination on a rare scale. Useful enough that its downfall may echo far beyond the name on the banner. There's a final irony here. The people who allegedly used this service were trying to buy distance. Distance from attribution, distance from the victims, distance from consequences. But once investigators turned the network itself into evidence territory, that distance may have collapsed all at once. A lot of cybercrime looks untouchable right up until the shared plumbing gets ripped open. And maybe that's the real story of May 2026. Not that police found every hacker. Not that one takedown ended cybercrime. It's that the safest room in the underground may have been built on infrastructure investigators were learning to read all along. Thousands of users may now be wondering what that shield really protected, and for whom. The victims never got a shield. So when you look at the First VPN takedown, don't just see a logo pulled offline. See a deeper move. Investigators stopped chasing shadows. They reached for the lamp. If true crime tech fascinates you, subscribe and turn on the bell. Around here, the details come from investigations and indictments, not just headlines. And next week, I've got another case where the hidden infrastructure mattered more than the malware.